Leicestershire impressed on day one at the Upton Steel County Ground with centuries from Lewis Hill and Colin Ackerman, helping them to a healthy first innings total with 2 wickets left in hand. Mike and Wright, the incumbents at the crease, 60 more runs needed for 400. Mike took them to 350 with an early single down to fine leg, but Wright couldn't stick around for long. Leicestershire down to their final wicket when he was pinned in front by Brett Hutton for 4. Mike was still going though, and at some rate too, determined to get his side to 400 and chalk up the bonus point that would come with the mark. More than that though, a textbook checked drive to Hutton cleared the ropes back over the bowler's head and took him to an 80-ball 50. It was Davis who brought up the 400. Still Notts were denied as the edge ran away for a single. Leicestershire kept attacking the Notts bowling, Mike finally going for 78 as he lifted Mullaney down the ground and into the hands of Ben Duckett. The Foxes all out for an impressive 440. It had been the perfect start to the day for Leicestershire. 100 runs added for the last 2 wickets. Ackerman the top scorer with 116, followed by 104 by Hill, and that's 78, a handy contribution down the order from Ben Mike. Patterson-White's day 1 3-for was the most by any of the visiting attack. Slater and Hamid made a solid and patient start for Nottinghamshire. 21 runs scored off their opening 5 overs. No concern yet for the visitors heading into lunch. The opening pair looked to play their way to 50 unbeaten after the break, but only made it as far as 47 when Mulder created the breakthrough. Slater outcaught behind for 12. No worries for Nottinghamshire. Duckett was in now and bringing the 50 up with a boundary early in his innings. Hamid was racing through his knock too. 4s are plenty for the opener, and with his 10th, he racked up a half-century from just 48 balls. The partnership was quicker to the mark, only 43 needed for the second wicket duo to reach 50 together. And Duckett found 4 more. Davis smashed to the leg side, 100 runs on the board for the visitors. Hamid looked to leave Mike, but the Foxes all-rounder pegged back his off-stump. The opener departed for 59. Duckett was positive, attacking anything he could, boundaries found with ease, and with the maker's name on show, he found an 11th of his innings and moved to 50 off just 40 balls. Clark's luck was in, 150 on the board as his edge flew beyond the end of the slip cordon. Nottinghamshire refused to slow down. The third wicket partnership soon worked 50 off 44. Clark taking a leaf out of Duckett's playbook in his approach. He'd added 26 off 23. Clark would then take them to 200 runs. Down the track to Parkinson, 4 more plundered through the leg side. It wasn't long before the third wicket was valued at 100. Duckett now heading for a century. But he'd have to wait until after tea, up to 98 at the break. Notts on 218 for 2, trailing by 222. It wasn't too long before Duckett had his century. Mulder's delivery short, wide and put away with ease. 100 runs scored from 112 balls from the Notts number 3. This was a confident showing from Duckett and Clark. The pitch was offering little to the bowlers, and the third wicket pair capitalised, up to 250 when Duckett clipped one into the leg side for 2. Leicestershire were getting ragged, the 150 partnership up when Mike overstepped, and the bounce soared over Swindle's head for 4 byes. Clark's intent was rewarded with a 50, a tickle down to fine leg enough to get him to the mark. That's his 9th 4 of the innings, a half-century, scored off 68 balls. It was his single off Wright that took them to 300. Duckett was closing in on 150, but he wasn't able to get there. Another lightning knock brought to an end. The switch hits didn't come off, and Parkinson bowled him for 145. Mullaney was the next man in and looks to emulate his colleague. The score continuing to rocket towards the Foxes' first innings total, and soon it was less than 100 runs away. A single from Clark took them past 350. Was he going to be the latest Notts batter to move to 3 figures? Not if the captain Callum Parkinson had anything to do with it. Clark nicking off for 89 late in the day. Mullaney kept going, and by the time play was brought to a close, Notts had moved to 373 for 5. They were now just 67 runs behind. Suddenly, that Leicestershire first innings effort has had a bit of the shine taken off of it, albeit thanks to a blistering innings by Ben Duckett. The visitors look set to draw level at the least, but Stephen Mullaney will be looking to build a decent lead when they return to the Upton Steel County Ground for day 3.